like, bro, yeah, she got a kid. Look at his back. Oh my god.
Yeah, what's up? Welcome back to another reaction. We're going to be reacting to how did Dr. Gero build an android stronger than Frieza? This is
I always thought of that because, like, how do you have like infinite power?
what I think stock maybe. Yeah, them humans, I don't understand how humans, androids are the equivalent of an emperor of the universe.
Yeah, like they have infinite. You know, their energy doesn't run out.
I mean,
They just don't get as strong to a certain point, but their energy is limitless.
I mean, Dr. Gero is just a genius like that. He's probably smarter than Bulma.
Well, if you can make an energy
You see
source
it-
that
you
doesn't
see
go
it-
away,
And you see the stuff that Bulma creates, so it's like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he'd be able to create an android. Plus, he knew about Frieza. When Frieza came to Earth, so he was able to gouge.
yeah, that's weird.
So he was able to see how powerful he was. So he was able to be like, okay, this is what I gotta work with. I gotta make
They
him
could
more
have sent the
powerful.
androids to kill Goku.
I mean, he did. That's what they were doing. They were looking
I'm talking about at Namek.
No, he didn't know about Namek.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. He didn't even know about Super Saiyan. That's why when he came back, he did Super Saiyan. He didn't know about any of it.
No, when Cell got those cells,
It's Frieza cells, Vegeta cells,
He got it from
Piccolo
Namek.
cells. He didn't get anything from Namek.
that's where he got his cells from.
He got everything from
Frieza.
Earth.
No, he got Frieza cells from Namek.
He got Frieza cells when he came back to Earth to kill Goku.
No, he said it. He got it from the planet. When he was on Namek,
It's
he said it
impossible.
himself.
He didn't even know about Namek.
bro, I'm telling you, I gotta find an episode, but he said it himself. I swear to you.
Okay, you can tell us down in the comments if Dr. Gero even knew about Namek at all.
Or it might have been Cell that said that.
I don't know.
I think it was Cell that said that.
But yeah, if y'all enjoying these reactions, hit the like button, subscribe, and share, man. It sounds interesting. We're gonna hop right to this video.
In the Cell Saga of Dragon Ball Z, audiences learned of Dr. Gero, or Gero in the English dub, a mad scientist who once worked for the Red Ribbon Army and created their powerful android warriors. Despite Goku destroying the military force and its leadership, Dr. Gero survived and went on to create the most powerful androids yet. Artificial humans who, in the absence of Goku, terrorized the Earth and destroyed all of our heroes. However, one question that fans have had ever since this arc first transpired is how exactly did Dr. Gero create androids who are not only capable of defeating the Earthlings, but also more powerful than Frieza, the Emperor of the Universe, and the legendary Super Saiyans at the time. This is something that many have claimed totally shattered their verisimilitude or suspension of disbelief during the arc, and diminished the impact and significance of the power of all of the characters that we had seen in their training up until that point. But is that actually true? Or perhaps are people simply not looking into this closely enough, and getting too caught up in the presentation rather than the substance of the event? Well, let's get into that topic right now. Now, I think the crux of this argument and this question in general really boils down to most people underestimating the humans and their technological progress. I mean, just take a look at the history of technology that we see in the Dragon Ball franchise, particularly on planet Earth. Something that's been referred to a number of times by different alien species as being a backwater or undeveloped planet. And yet, despite that, they have incredible technology that we've seen since the beginning of the Dragon Ball story. Like, for example, faster-than-light spaceships, which can traverse a galaxy in less than a week, as we saw during the Frieza arc, when Goku went in Dr. Brief's spaceship that took him from Earth to Namek, a planet that was in another galaxy, which would be many light years away. And yet humans in Dragon Ball were capable of creating and also reverse engineering alien technology that would allow them to do this just as quickly, and actually faster than the Namekian spaceship that Kami came to the Earth in. Additionally, we also see things such as the gravity room, a room that can manipulate gravity to being hundreds of times that of the Earth. Something straight out of the realm of science fiction that we're not able to do in our own world. It doesn't seem like any of the other alien species in the Dragon Ball world have been capable of doing this either. The same thing with creating a dragon radar, which allows the user to track down magical items not only across the Earth, but also in space, such as the Super Dragon Radar, which we see Bulma creating and then using in the Universe 6 tournament arc of Dragon Ball Super. And naturally, as the universal anthem says, space is vast. So tracking those down in space becomes significantly harder than ever tracking anything down on Earth. And not only that, but when we're on the topic of massive things, Dr. Brief and the scientists on Earth were able to create capsule technology, which allows them to compress matter, be it food, water, houses, planes, or even people, down into a small pill-sized container that barely weighs anything at all, which is an incredible feat considering the fact that all that mass within the structure should naturally weigh pretty much the same amount as it did when it was at full size. And yet people can carry around entire cases filled with capsules that barely weigh anything at all. But of course, the most impressive thing that the humans have created up until this point is the time machine, which, as its name implies, allows people to travel to the future or the past, which in turn creates an entirely new multiverse with each timeline, depending upon how far back they go in time and what actions are taken once there. Something I'll probably discuss in depth at some point in the future. This is a technology that practically no one else in the entire franchise has really been capable of achieving other than on Earth, with the exception of the Universe 12 time traveler, who is only really referenced once in an offhand comment, and then never brought back up again. But on Earth, not only did Bulma create this incredible technology, but so too did the scientist Omori in the Jocko manga, which takes place before the main Dragon Ball story, although his only really stopped time as opposed to actually traveling through it. So really, when you think about it, if the humans can do all these things, then why is it so difficult to believe that one of the most brilliant scientists in the history of the world could create robots and cyborgs stronger than Frieza or even the Super Saiyans? But that's only the scientific potential of the humans. What about their potential for strength? Well, as we've seen throughout the franchise, particularly from Dragon Ball Z and into Dragon Ball Super especially, the human fighters have...
Krillin at this point fighting Super Saiyan Blue Goku, I was surprised. I'm like, obviously Goku's going back a lot, but...
We're fighting the same period.
But just the fact that you're fighting a god is just like...
Or like, General Tao, how strong he was when he got cybernetically engineered.
Yeah, how strong he was before he even did. Kicking entire poles, like he stopped a bullet with his shoe. These dudes were planet tier before they were even. Like, it's just like ridiculous. Like, if you, I don't know, man. Like, just Goku powering up shakes the entire galaxy.
It's pretty wild.
Grown vastly more powerful than even Dr. Gero could have imagined when he was creating the androids, with characters like Krillin being able to push Goku into his Super Saiyan form after Goku absorbed the power of Super Saiyan God, trained with an angel, and went through all the various fights and other specialized training throughout the course of the franchise. And the other humans aren't really that far behind Krillin either, with all of them at this point likely being far more powerful than the androids were during the Cell Saga, and possibly able to beat every single character in Dragon Ball Z, including the most powerful fighters from the Buu Saga and even the movies. Now, whether or not you chalk that up to bad power scaling or just the incredible potential of growth and strength of the humans, I think that it really speaks for itself, especially when you compare humans to all the others throughout the universe, and how they're able to keep up with and surpass many of the most powerful races that we've seen up until this point. And despite the fact that most of Frieza's forces, who are made up of the strongest warriors from throughout all the different worlds that he had conquered and explored, didn't really even understand the concept of training or connecting their mind, body, and spirit and controlling their power, all of the humans were capable of doing that since Dragon Ball, and have only grown better at it over time. So it's possible that Dr. Gero, when examining the other fighters, and then Android 17 and 18, was able to find a way to bring out their potential to their maximum, at least at that time, while also augmenting them with other kind of organic components, and additionally giving them perpetual energy, which is also incredibly innovative technology since our own scientists in the real world have been trying to figure that out for ages. And in fact, creating free or perpetual energy actually violates the laws of thermodynamics, which are some of the fundamental laws that our entire universe operates under. So again, if Dr. Gero was able to create something like that, does it make sense for him to also make androids and robots?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He made like an energy that doesn't go away.
Despite the franchise being about strength and people fighting and powering up, up, making someone with a high power level isn't really as significant as many of these other incredible achievements that we've seen throughout the course of the story. One can only imagine that if Dr. Gero were to take this technology and apply it to the other humans and the other alien species, just how incredibly powerful they could have become. Maybe even making Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien, or even Chaozu, comparable to Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and all of the strongest fighters that we see introduced. Which is yet another topic I might discuss in a video in the future, because it is one of the more intriguing what-ifs when it comes to this franchise. And then, of course, all of this also gets worked into Cell, the completely bio-organic android that was created by Dr. Gero and his computer, using the cells of the most powerful fighters at the time, including the Saiyans, Frieza, and his father, which most people in the audience tend to find more realistic than the other androids who were introduced before that. However, considering the fact that Dr. Gero was working on Cell for a period of time before he turned everything over to his computer, then I think it actually makes even more sense from that perspective as to how he made these androids so powerful. Because during the point in which he was trying to create the perfect organism who would be able to carry out his will and also absorb the androids into him so he could become perfect and complete, he likely found out the best way to bring out the maximum potential of each individual race who was incorporated into his creation. So I think that Cell's existence only goes even further in proving exactly how Dr. Gero is capable of doing this. Now, as far as the out-of-universe rationale goes, it's obvious that Akira Toriyama wanted to create new and more powerful villains for our characters to battle against. In order to show off just how big of a threat they were, he naturally decided to have all of them be more powerful than Frieza, the strongest adversary that everyone had faced up until that point. And of course, they also needed to be more powerful than the strongest transformation at the time, of Super Saiyan, or else their level of power wouldn't really make any real difference. That's just how it goes in Dragon Ball. The new villains are almost always stronger than the last, which is kind of the easy button when it comes to creating additional drama and tension, particularly in a story full of characters whose powers are so inflated that at this point they can wipe out an entire universe with a single attack. Something that most people can't really even wrap their minds around, just considering how big a universe really is. But I think that in-universe, what we see with Dr. Gero and the power of the androids isn't really that far-fetched at all.
That's why when people compare like different shows to like Dragon Ball, that's why they gotta say Goku versus the whole universe.
Yeah, I mean,
like if you verse the whole Dragon Ball universe against like the DC universe,
and it's just don't get wrecked.
it's just like it's not.
The DC universe would die in the way of just like.
That's why they could use one character.
It would get annihilated. Like it would just get annihilated. All that power you get.
Even
especially
just
the
Z fighters, just the Z fighters.
I don't know, man.
You think so?
Really suspect. Yeah, like I said, their power levels of 200, destroying a whole moon. Master Roshi, Piccolo,
Krillin versus the Justice League.
Nappa, destroyed the whole city.
That's like when I first started watching. That was my favorite fucking move. That
right. That's all they need is Nappa and Vegeta from that arc, and put them in against Marvel. And they were destroying almost everyone except for like the Sentry and Thor.
I know. All
even
they
then,
gotta do is
even then,
Gallic Gun.
Beat Gallic Gun, Thor. I think maybe Thor can kill Thor, but Sentry they're not being Sentry. They're not being Sentry.
The Sentry? Or well, actually, I don't know. The Paragon's pretty strong.
They're not being Sentry. And they do be Sentry. The Void's gonna come out. Then he's gonna fucking kill everybody.
What if God of Destruction's in there?
God of Destruction? Then they can probably Hakai the Void. Maybe. But if they don't Hakai in time, they're dead.
The Angels could. They could just.
But the Angels. That'd be interesting.
What do you think stronger, the DC, Marvel, or Dragon Ball universe?
Just share overall, I think maybe,
It's hard. It's a hard topic. You know what I mean?
No,
there's so much power. So much power.
I think it might be Marvel.
Marvel?
Because Marvel has like dudes that can like manipulate reality.
The Beyonder.
Like they can create stuff out of nothing.
One
Beyonders, Franklin Richard,
Living Tribunal,
Mad Jim Jaspers, just like all these
random powerful ones.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
They should be talking to each other.
But if y'all enjoyed this reaction, let us know down in the reaction. Let us know down in the comments. Let us know if you want to see more anime reactions. More Dragon Ball Z stuff, man. If it's interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share. We're 10K subscribers. See you next time.
Peace.
Peace.